When you first jump into Assassin's Creed 4, you may be surprised to find out just how much emphasis there is on sailing around by ship. It's a much bigger part of the game than those naval side missions in Assassin's Creed 3. But don't you worry, we're here to help you out and make sure you get the most out of your time aboard the Jackdaw. The most important thing is to make sure you're upgrading your ship properly. A well-maintained ship is the difference between owning the sea and being terrified by it. So, step 1, make sure to improve your hull armor as quickly as possible. This should be your #1 priority. You'll have more health in battle, and thus be able to dish out more attacks against your enemies. But that one's pretty obvious. What about all those guns and attack upgrades? Well, it really comes down to your own playstyle, but I would highly recommend focusing on mortar strikes and broadside cannons. Mortar is great because it allows you to get a jump on your enemies from long range. You line up a shot, fire, and watch as your enemies try to close the gap as desperately as possible. You should be able to pull off another 1 or 2 mortar strikes before they even get close. Broadside cannons are great because they let you circle around larger, less agile ships. You just sort of sail around them in a 360-degree rotation, unloading your cannons until there's nothing left of the enemy ship. It's a bit of a dick move as far as naval tactics go, but boy is it effective. So, make sure to spend your resources on mortar and broadside cannons as much as you can. Things like explosive barrels can be handy, but they're much more situational. Plus, you really need to have an enemy ship close to your tail in order to make the most of them. Then there's the battering ram, which can be effective against weaker ships that can be destroyed in one fell swoop. But against stronger enemies, you generally just collide into them, hit a dead stop, and leave yourself open to their own broadside or heavy shot cannons. You're basically just asking for trouble at that point. Finally, the other upgrade I would recommend is your Swivel Gun. This may seem like a superfluous upgrade considering you can't really use it in a full-on naval battle, but where the Swivel Gun comes in handy is during those 10 or 15 seconds when you're about to board an incapacitated ship and fight its crew. Jumping on your Swivel Gun allows you to get a head start, picking off the strongest enemies, and if you're lucky, taking out the whole crew when you manage to hit the explosive barrels that they've foolishly decided to store on deck. So there you have it, mortar shots, broadside cannons, and swivel guns. Those are the primary upgrades I would recommend in addition to the obvious need to improve your hull armor. But of course everyone has their own tactics, so you may find your own upgrade path to look a little different once you settle into the game. So be sure to suggest your own strategies in the comments below.